Escalation. Amidst regional conflict, the West Bank faces a surge in coordinated settler violence and state-imposed restrictions, exploiting the regional war with Iran as strategic cover. The confluence of the ongoing US-Israel conflict with Iran and the Eid al-Fitr holiday has created a permissive environment for a dramatic intensification of pressure on Palestinian communities in the occupied West Bank.
This period has been characterized not by a lull, but by a strategic escalation, where state-backed settler militias have executed widespread, coordinated attacks on villages with near-total impunity, while Israeli authorities simultaneously enact severe restrictions on movement and religious expression. The symbolic emptying of the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound during Eid for the first time since 1967 underscores a policy shift towards openly targeting Palestinian national identity, using the broader regional conflict as justification.
This dual-track strategy of grassroots violence and top-down suppression represents a concerted effort to alter facts on the ground during a period of diverted international attention.
The architecture of annexation settler violence functions as a non-state arm of a political project aimed at dismantling Palestinian autonomy and enabling de facto annexation. The current wave of attacks is not spontaneous civil unrest but a tactical component of a long-term strategic objective, the dissolution of the Palestinian Authority and the consolidation of Israeli control over Area C and beyond.
The violence is deeply entrenched within the Israeli political establishment, as evidenced by Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich's attendance at the funeral of a settler from an illegal outpost and his explicit call to bring down the Palestinian Authority. The attacks follow a recognizable pattern of retaliation, often based on disputed incidents, and target critical civilian infrastructure, homes, vehicles, olive groves, village councils, and even a medical clinic to erode the viability of Palestinian communities.
This creates a coercive environment that facilitates displacement, a goal explicitly stated by settlers themselves, while the Israeli military and police consistently fail to intervene meaningfully, effectively providing operational space for the assailants.
Strategic exploitation of regional chaos. The war with Iran provides diplomatic and operational cover for accelerating colonization in the West Bank with deadly consequences for civilians. The international focus on interstate conflict with Iran has been leveraged to insulate domestic policies from scrutiny, allowing for actions that would otherwise incur significant diplomatic costs.
This is evident in the unprecedented lockdown of Al-Aqsa and the systemic failure to protect Palestinian civilians from both settler violence and war fallout, as seen in the deaths of 4 Palestinian women in Beit Orwa from rocket debris in an area devoid of air raid sirens or shelters. The operational tempo settler raids, such as the 100-strong massed assault on Jalad and Karya involving arson, property destruction, and direct attacks on emergency services, demonstrates a high degree of coordination and confidence.
This environment normalizes a two-tiered security and legal system where Palestinians are mass arrested while settlers act with manifest impunity, fundamentally undermining any pretense of law enforcement or conflict management.
Verdict: a coordinated campaign of displacement. The convergence of state policy and paramilitary action signals a decisive move towards formalized annexation and permanent demographic change. The evidence points to a deliberate and coordinated campaign where settler violence and state restrictions are synergistic tools advancing the same strategic goal: the fragmentation of Palestinian territorial continuity and the systemic inducement of displacement.
The political endorsement from figures like Bezalel Smotrich, coupled with the military's passive stance, transforms these attacks from criminality into policy. The immediate projection is a continued, severe degradation of security and living conditions for West Bank Palestinians, with increased isolation of communities and further erosion of the Palestinian Authority's legitimacy and functional capacity.
The primary strategic risk for Israel is the potential for this localized escalation to trigger a broader uprising, while the opportunity lies in permanently altering the demographic and geographic map before any potential return of international diplomatic engagement. The next steps will likely involve further legal and administrative measures to formalize settlement expansion and deepen the integration of these militias into state security frameworks.